other side, my love. You say you wanna try, but you never do. Sugar, there's a reason why we lose.
CGL.
This is just an absolute treat. These players are so damn good.
The talent on these teams is undeniable. Everybody on every team right now is making plays.
It's going to be an exciting start to the season, and it'll just get better from here on out.
We're about to step to a whole new era of Overwatch esports. So much exciting action is happening here on CGL that you do not want to miss.
Look who's starting it all off. It's Raven. No one necessarily figure out what is the right way to go just yet.
What a nice roll through from Peyton. It's just going to solidify everything for Mythos.
Does come back, and Arsario gets the mech, but I don't need a mech. I'll kill 4 anyway.
This is just a highlight reel for Arsario right now.
They're making a statement in the EU Masters here.
This patch is still incredibly fresh. There's so much to learn, so much to change about the way we play the game.
SKC, but the shatter is colossal.
Let's get it going.
Trades keep coming through. Laura, is he going to be able to find these shots true?
Idu on the overclock with 2.
Here comes the Natalie immediately goes back to fine skills, slicing and dicing their way through 2-3. So back and forth.
Hello, everybody. Welcome back. CGL Season 15 continues here. Our first match post mid-season tournament. We've got our EU Open tier. We've got Garnet versus LN Eclissi to start off the back half of the season. Nyah, you ready to get it rolling?
Yeah, I mean, we got Garnet versus LN Eclissi here for our Week 5 European Open tier scene here. But yeah, it's definitely going to be exciting in between these two teams. They are basically getting out of this mid-season form, right? We're heading up into this Week 5, and I got to say, we do actually have the standings here from that Group 2. We can actually take a look at that. And looking at how the teams have been placed, you get to see Eclissi above Garnet. So I got to say, that's pretty good if you're the Eclissi.
Yeah, it's kind of... It's really, really unfortunate start here for Garnet through the first part of the season. 0-3 in the matches they played, and they had a bye. So, technically might be, 1-3 right now. And 0907, you see at the number 2 seed, they won the midseason tournament. Cronus won their first match post midseason tournament. Ellen Eclissi 2-2 just missed out on the midseason tournament. So looking to try and bring themselves up this ladder coming into the back half of the season. Group 2, it's going to be a little bit tougher, right, with these bigger leagues, right? The open tier is always going to be one of our biggest our biggest tiers, right?
Yeah, I mean,
the most teams
I see Twisted Minds up in there. Twisted Mind Orchard. That's
Orchid
partnered.
Yeah,
that's it's pretty nice, honestly.
It's their women's team.
Oh wow. Well, I didn't know that. Thank you for telling me. I guess something to talk about too is the Flock during midseason were also a good team, which I was kind of surprised about. But yeah, that team alone is a team to watch for up in this division. But yeah, we do unfortunately have Eclissi and Garnet here today. So if you are Garnet here, Fletch, you obviously need a win here heading up into this one because your last couple games haven't been what you wanted.
No, right. I'm trying to find like the full standings because if I'm not mistaken, I want to say that there are 4 groups in this open tier. So it is going to be okay. No, there's only the 2. The 4 groups is for NA. So it is going to be a little bit more competitive to try and get into the postseason with so many groups. There are less spots per group to make the midseason or the postseason tournament. You need 4 in a row for Garnet, frankly, if you want to have a chance at making the postseason. Ellen Eclissi, they're sitting in a bit of a better spot. They, need to win 2 or 3 to guarantee themselves a spot. But that race has got to start somewhere. We do know what our map pool is going to be here today for Garnet versus Eclissi. Nepal, Hollywood, Esperanza, New Junk City, and Circuit Royal.
Yep. Circuit Royale, that's also a great map. But yeah, Nepal, a great starting map, has great sectors in between, and I wouldn't be surprised if we were able to see some Lucio played there, or even that wonderful backline that could coordinate with dive composition. But something to talk about here is what these teams are going to be banning up in this divisional round here of our Week 5. We got Eclissi first. So if you're Eclissi here, Fletch, you look at how tanks have been playing, you look at how the backlines have been. If I'm thinking what the Eclissi are thinking, I'm going to say that they're going to go with a tank here just because of what we've been getting to see with the pros.
You know, unfortunately, both of these teams having missed out on that mid-season tournament, we don't have a lot of recent, data about them. They're going to ban out the Venture here, so it feels like they're kind of playing it safe, maybe trying to defend a DPS ban at some point here. Tracer, Sojourn, all really good heroes right now. Don't want those to get banned if you are really relying on one of those characters. So could be that, could just be, don't really know what's going on the other side of the court. So just going to ban Venture and throw it over to Garnet, who are going to get our next bans. Can only be a tank or support. It's going to be Wrecking Ball out of Garnet. So, Wrecking Ball is not the worst tank in the world right now, but I wouldn't exactly call Wrecking Ball great on Nepal. I think he could be okay if you roll around, get some of those knocks into maybe the pit on Sanctum, but overall,
it's an interesting choice.
It kind of feels like both of these picks are feeler picks, trying to get the a feel for what the other side is going to be playing.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I totally agree here. Maybe these are picks to possibly throw away. I don't know. We got to see teams do that during midseason. But good looks here, maybe from these two with their hero bands. But we do have lineups coming up next year, and gotta say, we got MRG Garnet. This is one of the MRG teams, but we obviously have our DPS, which is going to be Config Umbreon, our tank Poke, and our supports Kritzkrieg and Beta Blue.
Need something big out of this Garnet lineup if they want to give themselves the best chance possible to run through into the postseason. But on the other side, sitting in a slightly better position, playing very, very well right now, is LN Eclissi. Excuse me. On the DPS, we've got Flatty QZ Llama and Fista. In the tank role, there is Nevish, and then in the backline, Little Plume and Neo Fried. This roster, not the start to the season that they would have liked. They would have liked to have at least made it to that mid-season tournament. Unfortunately, did not quite get there. We're just a couple of maps shy of an appearance. So while the start to the season is not what they would have liked it to be, they do still have life headed into the back half of this season.
Yeah, and let's get to see what Eclissi does here against Garnet. Obviously, MRG needs this win more against Eclissi to have their hopes and saviors staying up in this to make that postseason. But, we're going to be able to determine that very, very shortly. We will be heading up into Nepal, and something to talk about Nepal is there's a lot of, brawl that could be played here, some poke too, right? You can play around those corner spaces, but I wouldn't be surprised if the teams do go a dive composition, but it's going to be interesting to tell, especially what these two teams want to play. You got a team that is in dire need of a win here against a team that is basically set and ready. Like, if they take a loss, it's really not going to matter.
All right, we are headed into Nepal's Sanctum for the first submap here, and you know, you talked about Rush. That is basically what we are seeing from both sides here. Garnet with a bit of a dirty bubble composition. Only difference really being that Juno instead of the Ana. And Eclissi coming in with a Reinhardt double hit scan look. Very, very interesting plays here from Eclissi and Garnet for that matter. Maps totally flipped around. Nevs trying to bail back into the backside of this Garnet roster, and I mean the aggression coming out here early as possible from Garnet, and just no charge going over to poke at all. Config is good for a couple, but it will not really matter that much with this big old shield stopping all the damage from actually hitting anyone that matters.
Yeah, so if you are the Eclissi here, still running with this percentage, but you got to be careful because Nevs is taking this damage.
Yep, Nevs will be able to take down Umbreon. The trade is there. Config falling very, very low, but without Nevs, it's not going to be a fight that is winnable here for Eclissi.
Yep, so Garnet still looking good. Now they're up in the running with the percentage, right? Trying to build up those support ultimates too, but yeah, if you're Flatix, not too bad of a position as we get to see. Yeah, wonderful.
The combo, immaculate for Flat here. Now under duress by a Lucio and a Genji. Config and Umbreon finding one each here, but Nevs with that hammer proving to be just a bit too much for the stragglers here from Garnet. Gonna hit a quick hammer flip after the cap.
Again, I'm liking that, you know, Nev's play there. Eclissi setting up pretty good here. They have these ultimates ready to go. Bob, Shatter, Orbital Ray also coming up. So 3 looking for Eclissi. What a Shatter.
Wow. Okay, well, I guess that shield gave it away there. They knew Nevs was in the back, and Nevs was gonna go down! Thrown into the pit, but unfortunately Poke met the same fate. And Flatty will go down here? Probably? Yeah.
Maybe.
Okay, chase down, but Little Plume going to clean up the trade, and Eclissi will remain.
Yep, Little Plume does have this Orbital Ray ready to go Neophrine as we get to see 84% will have this Beat Matrix up online here shortly, but as well Fista will have Sights, and unfortunately Beta Blue able to get that. That changes everything.
Yep, Nev's not going to be going down to that. Well, not down to the boot, but definitely the Dragon Blade. And Config changing the target there just a little bit too early, and with Neophyte's beat coming down, it will just be too much health to go through for Garnet, as Eclissi will be able to re-engage with this Doomfist back in. Dynamite. Oh no, Beta Blue, you made such a great play just to do that so high in the air.
And as we get to see the CGL Ajax. But yeah, I gotta say, Neophyte has been cooking up on this Lucio, but wonderful, you know, positioning from Flatix here.
Yeah, you want to talk about cooking. This Ashe is absolutely going ballistic right now. Like, the shots are perfect. Oh my god.
Nasty with it.
Yeah, that's disgusting, and nobody can touch. I mean, wow. Pound for pound, just unstoppable there for the side of Eclissi.
So, if we are the side of MRG here, it wasn't the best of looks. You were trying against the Eclissi, but the matterage of everything that happened there up in that fight, it looked like Eclissi were just holding those spaces a lot more better than Garnet up in those situational fights. And as we got to see so much from Flatix and Neophyte, they were always finding answers. I wouldn't be surprised here if Nevs is more up in the scene here with that tank debut, but it's looking pretty good for the Eclissi, and by looks of it, we're going to be running out up on a Hog and a Malga. So interesting choices from both of the tanks, but I think Poke definitely needs this if you are Garnet.
All right. Very, very interesting compositions from either side here. Definitely a little bit more meta out of Garnet, as Flat now the one on the Widowmaker. Looking for the shots and still just hitting them constantly. The health pool's not looking the best for. Having to back down is Flatty, and a nice little hook there from Nevs. Good for the pick. Need that breather. Need to be able to get away, and will do just that. Pulled right into the pig pen. Poke gonna go in, and unfortunately will fall. Too much damage coming out from Eclissi, and not enough healing. It will be Eclissi taking the first flip.
So here we go. We get to see the same thing basically happen where Eclissi does take that over advantage from Garnet here, but a missed hook almost up onto that Genji. But wonderful way to position up front if you are Nevs in this Eclissi side.
All right. Nevs rolling up from the backside, and very lucky. Well, Chris Krieg walked right into a pig pen, and Eclissi immediately, Nevs goes down, but had done a lot of damage, and Fista just gonna be able to clean that up.
Yep, so Eclissi still running very, very good here. They are controlling this space wonderfully against Garnet, and yeah, if you're Garnet here, you're a little bit of struggle against Eclissi, but look at that ultimate economy. If you're Eclissi, you really don't gotta matter about anything.
All right. Oh,
wow.
Garcon, can I get a certified CGL Ajax, please, out of Fista? Unfortunately, you're going to lose out on that Death Blossom. Poke able to run away, but has no Cardiac Overdrive, has no Overrun. That cooldown will be coming back, so going to find a little bit more damage into the Roadhog here. And that whole hog did come out, but won't find much of anything. But it will be Eclissi dealing too much damage to overcome this. Malka could be annoying, but with the orbital rate coming down, there's really not much that just Poke can do.
Yeah, and it's a little unfortunate for Garnet here if you are the MRG, but Eclissi, they have been wonderfully doing what they have been doing, and they've been reading these, comps from the Garnet by far. But yeah, if you're Garnet, you've got to get back up into this. Maybe Beta Blue can find that answer.
Yeah, and Beta very lucky to be able to get that beat off as well. Damage being done. Flatty is the first to fall. Dragon Blade down, no dash, so will not be able to catch up. And you can see Config knows what was happening there. And 50 HP can find the dash, but Nebs with the final shot, 99% for Eclissi. The flip does come through though.
So is it going to matter, though? You get to see Garnet struggle a bit against Eclissi there. Vista able to get Poke out of that. That's, yeah, it's
already over. This is kind of a blink and you miss it submap, right? Very, very fast from Eclissi, whether they were on the Doomfist or on the Roadhog. It was just start to finish. This was Eclissi's map.
Yeah, I think they definitely controlled the other side very well. We got to see up in those situations where Flatix was always to find an answer, or even Fista up onto that Reaper. But not too much of Reaper Blossoms coming out from the sides of both. I would probably say more supports getting kills. The DPS that we're finding a little more answer was probably Flatix. Nevs was there up in the scene, but Poke really didn't get much out of Garnet here playing the tank role. So maybe substitutions could come up into this next play for this next map. It probably wouldn't be a bad idea for Garnet, but running it in with their strengths would also probably not be a bad idea. They just gotta counterban this other Eclissi side and hope for the best.
I think the problem that you run into right now is that Eclissi showed so many looks throughout this first map that it's impressive. It seems like even if you ban one hero, right, they're just going to be flexible enough to pick something else and be just as good, right? So you've got to be really, really intelligent with your ban here if you're Garnet, because you need to cover for the most possibilities that you can get with one character out of the lineup.
Yeah, I totally agree that the bans need to be very, very important from this Garnet side to get back up into this series, of course. But, we have this next map, which will be an interesting one for both of the teams. We'll be heading over to Hollywood, so you get to see a lot of dive played there, even Poke. Brawl could be seen there. I wouldn't say too much of rush. It just depends upon how teams want to play it, where they take the low ground, go high maybe. But expecting Hollywood here, I see more dive getting played, and if you're Garnet, maybe you could ban something dive-wise.
All right. Getting ready to see where Garnet is going to take us for the bans. And, you know, as I was saying at the end of the first map, right? This is not an easy decision. You know, sometimes there are plays that are easy to point out, right, and say, yeah, that's what we're going to ban. That's going to be the thing that helps us out the most. There's just so many possibilities for Eclissi to be flexible that I'm really curious and not really sure where Garnet are going to go. And it will be the Ashe, which you know, I don't hate it. It makes sure that Flatix is going to be, you know, forced onto a Widowmaker or a Cassidy if they want to continue to play that long to mid range hit scan. A Sojourn is also a really good shout there, still just as strong as ever. So I don't hate it, because I do think Flatix was very impactful on the Ashe on map 1.
Yeah, very much cooking if you were Flatix there up on the Eclissi. But, you know, we got 15 seconds until they ban this. If I were them, at least, maybe target support. But as we get to see, it's going to be a quick ban onto Rhine. So, yeah, very interesting from both the teams. But I really like this ban coming out from Garnet, reading and analyzing this Ashe ban from onto Flatix, where Flatix can't over-dominate here up on Hollywood, taking that backline, scoping in those angles. But, yeah, very good choice here from Garnet.
So now, as we get ready to head into Hollywood, we've got no substitutions. Nothing crazy here. We're going to hit it, and it will be Eclissi on the attack, Garnet on the defense. I'm really curious where we are going to see Eclissi go. Probably going to be a dive, if I'm being entirely honest with you, with the ban out onto the Reinhardt. Is this Chad, is this real? Okay.
Well,
you know what? Very interesting. It does seem like Flatix is going to be one of the only players, along with Little Plume, to stay on their previous roles. Garnet will, though, be running a very bog standard dive comp. And
okay, so
wow.
Eclissi running basically all flex instead of Flatix playing that TPS sub. But yeah, I like this interesting choice. It's very confusing to me. But Eclissi, let's see what you do here against Garnet. Obviously Garnet need it just a bit more, but Garnet is up on the defense here against Eclissi.
All right, here we go. Wrecking Ball is in on those supports already. Umbreon trying to get that Discord cleansed and trying to build up these shots. Ooh. Slides right into the crosshairs of Flatix. No Ashe, no problem for Flatix. Already proved what they can do on the Widowmaker.
Jeez,
Wow,
man.
Nev just came in with a 3-piece, by the way.
Man's actually insane playing this Zenyatta. Yeah, very surprising side out from the Eclissi there. They are all running different things, as we get to see against the Garnet. So if you were to lose this here, if you're the Garnet, it's not a good look, right? I don't know what to say here.
Well, what we can say is that Eclissi very fast on the uptake here. The comp, you know, not really. I wouldn't say it's very synergistic within itself, but I would say that Eclissi are very confident in their skills as a dive comes in from Fista, who's just able to roll away very easily.
And as we get to see Flatix playing up on the payload here, just escorting for the Eclissi side. Yeah, but I like the choices of, you know, having that Discord if you're Nevs, but yeah, if you're Eclissi here, you got this space, but config would get Flatix.
Yeah, nice job taking down the Ashe there from the Tracer. doing exactly what is necessary, and a second one onto Nez. Unfortunately, I'm going to ask the age-old question, why is there a trap there? Neofried killing Poke there with the trap, and that's going to make it very, very difficult for this fight. But Config is absolutely on a tear right now. Bailing back towards the team, has a pulse bomb ready to go, needs the healing.
Yeah, I totally agree. And Garnet do have these 2 DPS ultimates, so I expect Config to pop this pulse bomb possibly up on the back here, but it's going to be challenging.
All right, well, ultimates out in spades for the side of LN Eclissi. Fista finding a second knot with the minefield this time, and Config just trying to live here, and wow, will not quite get away.
Yeah, stuff's happening. If you are Garnet, I feel like you're struggling against Eclissi here with them running this unique composition, and it's just, it's something.
Yeah, the Transcendence came out. Overclock from Umbreon will get shut down. Kritzkrieg did take down Nevs, so no Zenyatta in play here for LN Eclissi for the moment. You can see Beta Blue trying to take care of that Juno, but Flatix coming in for the assist. It's just Config left.
Yeah, all in here. If you're the Eclissi, you're able to cap this one to get to 4 minutes and 40 seconds basically up on the clock. Umbreon, though, able to answer up on the Flatix. Not too much kills going up in the favor of Garnet here, Fletch, but a nice stick. Not finding much, though.
Yeah, not the target you often want to look for with the Pulse Bomb. Vista able to pay it back with some interest on to Config. Poke very lucky to be able to get away alive there. Does almost have a Primal Rage as Vista rotates around the backside. Config does come out on the Widowmaker and actually gets the better of Flatix for the moment. Sound Barrier going to come down, but neither that nor the Primal Rage were able to save Poke's life, and this Orbital Rage just going to be way too much to overcome without a tank.
Yeah, Vista still here with the mines ready to go for the side of Eclissi. Look at that focus up on that DPS. And yeah, Eclissi, they are set up in a very, very good spot. I'm still very worried for Garnet here. They could possibly come back with Blitzkrieg Nano, but mines are out.
Oh my. Yeah, I really have very little to say right now. As Ellen and Eclissi continue to roll through. The hazard from Poke going to try and get the touch. That spike block not going to going to keep them alive a little bit longer, but it cannot stay up forever. Just the Lucio left. Flatix finds the shot on to the Frog there, and with this late stagger touch from Umbreon, will be met with a Riptire. 2 minutes 57 seconds. Very, very dominant from Eclissi.
Yeah, maybe a little way too dominant. Eclissi, they're looking very, very good up in this scenario. They don't have to worry about anything. I feel like this is a team that has that mechanical skill against the other team, which is Garnet, and Garnet isn't really finding those tempo situations to answer. And every scenario we looked at here out of this one, it was lacking for Garnet, and Eclissi was always there reading them like a book. Yeah, I think Eclissi here up in this scenario, as I said, you don't got to worry about anything. You're running these, different heroes. You're up on different roles. But I would be upset if you're Garnet, because you're looking at a team that's doing that to you. It's a little disappointing.
Need something now out of Garnet. The roster changes will not, change here, I suppose. Flatix and Neofred still on the DPS roles, except this time the comp is a bit different. Vista on an Orisa. Vista the Orisa. Flatix still on the Widowmaker. Neofred on Sombra. Nevs, Little Plume, Ana, and a Yari.
Alright,
Neofred.
Let's see what happens with Eclissi here.
Umbreon is already so damn low. having to get that healing very, very quickly is there's nobody over there, Fist. The Sombra's on your team, not on the other side. Beta Blue does actually find one there, but it's, yeah, this fight is getting very interesting, I suppose. Poke has been put to sleep, but without Fista, the hack gonna actually come through, and Config will just meet their maker here. And Nev's in the spawn, able to get rid of the Lucio, and the dominance continues even with players gone.
Yeah, Eclissi looking very good here still. They are answering and answering up on this Garnet side. If you're Garnet, you're struggling against the Eclissi. Maybe you can find another answer, like how we got to see Beta Blue find that initial, but... And what? Yeah, okay. Yep.
Alright, yeah, there's a trade there. Config and Beta Blue make it possible, and so does Umbreon. Finding one there, Fista does take down the Echo in the back line, and will end up falling there is Nebs. So this could be an objective capture here for Garnet. A nice boop out of the bubble, and that will be the point to Garnet.
Yep, so 5 minutes here for Garnet. This is a better look, especially with Garnet struggling against this Eclissi side. But that's a little unfortunate losing Config though.
Config falling there to Neophyte. Hack gonna come out on the poke as well as the virus, but an excellent, yeah, anti there, followed up on by both Flatix and Neophyte. Neophyte will not be able to escape, just caught out by that Tesla cannon. Pulse bomb, nice stick there on a Little Plume, able to slip right past that that shield, and with some help here, well, the trade comes through. Posthumously taking down Config is Nevs, but the push will actually properly start now for Garnet.
Yep, still trying their best here. If you are Garnet, you have ultimates to do so. 4 up on the line for Garnet. Ellen Eclissi, you're looking at 4-3, I would probably say. And, yeah, Eclissi, you have been dominant over this, but maybe this is Garnet's side.
Did Neophyte just solo EMP Beta Blue?
Yeah, I think that's what we was just about to say.
Alright, well, Umbreon with the dupe. Unfortunately, if you're looking at a just a straight mirror with the Echo, the proper tank is always going to win that. Just because of the health gap. So, Fista popping the Primal Rage, able to get out with their lives. 3.5 minutes on the clock.
Yep, and Garnet, you still have something to answer against this. Unfortunately, losing the Tracer there won't really matter much. You still have this such a big time gap. Either Fista, you know, able to get those eliminations, but it's not going to matter. I still think Garnet can come back up in this situation here, Fletch. You got 3 minutes and 13 to do so.
Well, Poke unfortunately did pop the Primal Rage to just stay alive. If they can get rid of Poke, that would be awesome, and it looks like that will be the case. Ellen Eclissi maybe getting a little bit too aggressive there. Flatix will be the next to fall, and Garnet will come around the back corner.
Yep, and hopefully Garnet can do something with those 2 support ultimates. Config will have this Pulse Bomb almost ready to go. If you're Eclissi, though, you're going to have that rally to sustain the Little Plume. That could do something there with that. But, crits getting low.
Poke getting in there with the Nano Boost now as well. Going to look for the other supports, so no supports on the side of LN Eclissi, and I mean, Garnet are in a similar spot, but the touch will come through out of the Sombra. Needs something here, Pulse Bomb to help out, and the payload does actually roll through, so 3.5 minutes for Garnet here, punishing LN Eclissi's hubris.
Yep, still under that 1 minute mark. You got to see Eclissi cap with a little more time, but Garnet, you have to build something up here with that 3 minutes and 20 seconds that you have. You won't obviously be close to the 2 minutes and 57. I expect this one to be a little lower up in time bank if you are the Garnet.
Okay, an actual EMP there from Neophyte, but I mean, they're just in the spawn of Garnet right now, and it's going to get them punished. They do take down 1 in Poke, but the rest will follow here up into the spawn of Eclissi.
Yep, so Eclissi will have sights, almost Fista with their Primal, but that's a good pick if you are crits.
Neofried gone, Fista slept and killed. Nice little sleep there onto Umbreon, who's taken down in the end, but Nebs is also just way out of position, so will get followed up on. So there's some pot shots from Flatix now trying to find something late here.
Yeah, you know, the ring around the rosy from Flatix there with the camera. But, yeah, Eclissi, they know where everybody is from the side of Garnet. Maybe you could find a pick here off of it, and yes, you're able to up on the beta.
Now 2 Winstons on the side of Garnet, but this hack the ante. It's going to be a lot to deal with here. Neofry does actually end up getting taken down, and now we see a juggle coming out from the other Winston, unfortunately knocking the Ana back into their spawn. We're going to see Umbreon actually go back towards that spawn door, looking for that opportunity, and the Nano Boost onto Flatix. So really not going to find much there with that Nano. Poke and Kritzkleeg did have theirs. We're going to see Umbreon jump up on top of the trailer. Not going to be able to land but one of those stickies. Need to find something here. Now 90 seconds on the clock, and Eclissi will be able to stabilize.
Yeah, and something to say here, if Garnet were to cap this, it's going to be extremely difficult for them. They obviously need to cap this with time. If they don't cap it, it's going to be a tieable situation. But yeah, if you are Eclissi, you have just been reading and reading this side of Garnet and dominantly taking everything that you can from them.
But if you're Garnet, you're also doing the same with the overextensions for the side of Eclissi. Like, Eclissi just doing way too much here to be comfortable, you know, with. I feel like I know why, but it will be a 1-minute capture on the clock there for Garnet. So they've got time now.
I don't know. They do, but something to look at is how the performance has been tallying for both of the teams. Eclissi is bringing out more strengths up in these, you know, battles from the firsts to the lasts. Garnet, you're in situations where you read the team, overextend. Maybe if Eclissi makes that mistake, you can answer to possibly that winning scenario opportunity. But stuff that we've been getting to see from Eclissi, it's been dominant. If they overextend, like how I said, Garnet can answer. If they don't overextend, and if they're communicating with their team composition, you're going to see this Eclissi side just take another one out of this Garnet side. So you got to be a little worried, and you got to be reading every single opportunity that you have here if you are Garnet up in this, you know, overtime situational extra. For both of the teams, it's going to be extremely challenging and difficult for Garnet, but maybe this is your way to answer. Have a challenging uphill battle with a team that is a little better than you up in those mechanics.
Not too scared right now is Garnet, though. Able, you know, facing the Eclissi shenanigans very, very well, if I'm being honest with you. You know, if you want to have a chance to win, you need to be able to take advantage of the mistakes. And whether intentional or not, Eclissi did make a lot of mistakes that Garnet were able to take advantage of. And there's going to be a life grip there as well. An ante onto the Doomfist, and Neofried has fallen. A possible res from Little Plume, but with Nevs going down, this fight may very well be over. Little Plume does end up falling, but not before taking down Kritzkleeg. So we're getting a little silly.
Yeah, and it seems to be Garnet is up on this objective currently. Is it going to matter though? Fista is coming back with the side, and yeah, Flatix is able to find that answer, and not looking good, I'd probably say.
Yeah, Flatix able to get that nano boost, breaks the hack. It will be a full hold from Eclissi. Not going to be easy for Garnet to hold for 3 whole minutes to try and get the draw.
Yeah, looking at the Eclissi side, they might just be messing around just a bit too much, but Eclissi, now you're in a situation that you need to be aware of. the looks that we've got to see from Garnet by far, Fletch here has been where they either get picked because they've been doing a mistake, or it's them finding the opportunities to go in with that dive, where Poke is up on the Winston, you jump up onto the back line to get picks out of that support. But we're looking at Poke up on some sort of a brawl composition, and Umbreon playing the Torb, so not bad. If you are Garnet, maybe if you're Umbreon, you're trying to make Eclissi look at that turret where Garnet can take more damage out of the Eclissi side while they're doing it. But they got to be aware they're heading up against Neophride, which they are up on a Bastion, and a Bastion does a lot of damage, but as well, Vista can catch you in that one ability that Ramattra has. So a little better look from Eclissi here. I still think Eclissi is going to get this one just by how they've been dominant, how they've been doing it with their mechanics. Just overall here, I think Eclissi is going to take this.
All right, a little bit of a difference here. Garnet playing this very, very defensively. Eclissi know what they need. One tick. Poke sitting in here with on the Doomfist. Gonna find a massive knockdown. Vista will be burnt to a crisp, and Flatex at 13 HP gets the Mega Health Pack, but getting absolutely run down for the moment. Poke is a little bit unhealthy. Need to find another pick here if Eclissi are going to be confident in this fight win, but with Vista returning, it's going to be difficult. Okay, Flatex dead, but need to be able to stop that res. Res will not actually come through, not even going to try it. Neophride getting that healing off. Almost has the ultimate here, the airstrike. And we're going to see it now. We'll see what Neophride can find with this, and we'll be able to find Crits Creek. That is from the side of Garnet. Need to be able to stay alive is Poke, but will not be able to do so. That should be the very, very end of this map for Ella and Eclissi. They're able to find the team kill, get the map win, move to match point.
Yeah, Eclissi, you're able to be up here once again over the opposing side, and looking at how they've played, it's interesting to tell, a bit confusing, but Eclissi overall just better here up in the macro against the opposing. I like what they're doing, but is it too much here up in the scene? I feel like they're abusing the other side just a bit too much.
Yeah, maybe, I suppose. I'm not really sure what else to say about this. I do appreciate the effort out of Garnet to try and stop the Ellen Eclissi shenanigans. And,
Yeah.
You know, they've had their moments where they shine, right? Like we've saw
Yeah.
the config tracer looked really good at one point. Like you're gonna see it right here, a big stick and then a kill onto the Ana, which, you know, config has been playing very, very well for this Garnet roster. But ultimately, I do think that right now it's just mechanics that are the difference between Eclissi and Garnet. They're very confident on the side of Eclissi in their ability to shoot, right? Especially when you've got a player like Flatex, you know, knocking heads off constantly. They're just always going to be so happy to do that. But now as we get ready to head into halftime, Nyah, we'll just have to see what is going to happen on the other side, if Garnet can get their first map win of the season, or if Eclissi will be able to shut this down in its entirety.
Yep, it's got to happen. One of these teams are maybe going to come back, and maybe it's Garnet. They need some maps here. Taking 3 out of the Eclissi side would be huge for them and motivational. But yeah, maybe that's what they need, that motivational speech for that momentum to come out forth. But as we get to see Garnet sitting 0, they need to find that answer. But we will be answering that after the break. Will Garnet be able to come back? Who knows? We will get to see you guys very, very, very shortly.
All right, welcome back, everybody. Right now, Eclissi dominating this series up 2-0, heading into map number 3. Right now, Nyah, it's looking a little bit grim for the side of
Hey.
Garnet. It's pretty obvious to me that Eclissi is not exactly taking this series super seriously. So as we get ready to head into map number 3, Esperanza, I want to see a little bit more signs of life out of Garnet. That's what I would like to see, right? I'm not expecting, world championship level play out of Garnet here if I want to see the win, but just a little bit more than, a config pop off here and there.
Time to glaze the Garnet is what I'm kind of hearing. So, yeah, if you're MRG Garnet, you have a, fantastic choice here right up in front of you to ban something that has been very, very dominant. Try and not look out of the, Hollywood map set. Maybe go back to the map 1 of your Nepal, where the other opposing team were running some options. Maybe take one of those heroes out here if you are Garnet. I think that would probably be your best bet. But taking out the Sombra, what do you got to say about this, Fletch? I know Hollywood was a mix of everything for the Eclissi, but do we get to see Sombra here?
I mean, obviously, no, we don't get to see Sombra. Neofried
Well,
was a little bit annoying. I can say
am I
that
saying?
with certainty. I don't dislike it, but I think the problem is gonna stem where like Eclissi are playing so many different things at around the same level that you ban one annoyance and
Mercy.
it's just it just doesn't. I feel like the bans so far this match have been relatively moot points. I don't think that
Yeah.
they've had a whole lot of impact overall. I think the only like real one that I could see having any major importance would be like the Ash ban on Hollywood. But other than that, like I can't imagine like any picks that have been less impactful that I've seen through the rest of this season.
Yeah, I don't even think we would have been able to see a Mercy here. I don't know what Eclissi would, think, but maybe this is a throwaway from them. Garnet, I like the choice of looking at that, Sombra, but is it going to be best benefit for here up on Esperanza that we're heading up into? Obviously, I think, Fletch, I think we honestly glazed the side of MRG. I think they need that momentum and motivation.
All right, final map coming in here. Of course, no roster swaps. Only got these 10 players in the lobby right now. We get ready to head into Esperanza. 10 seconds until we see what either of these teams is running. And I'm honest with you, I am not sure what to expect. An actual comp out of Eclissi? What is this shenaniganry? They're playing a real composition?
Okay, so we're back. We are not back up in the past. Eclissi is here right now, and you're heading up against Garnet, which ran this composition up in that Hollywood. I expect some good greatness from both of the sides, but a little more with the rush variant coming out of Eclissi. But I still think Garnet has that open opportunity to dive that backline.
All right, Eclissi finally wanting to put an end to this series here and now. Dive gonna come through, but Flatix more than happy to just slide away. A lot of effort being put in to take care of this Sojourn, but the shots are just so true from Flatix. The rest of the team of Garnet will fall down around Config, who last man standing, and push will begin for Eclissi.
Here we go. We are up on the train again. It is moving for the side of Eclissi, and they are making their way towards that new open area. But Garnet, not too bad of an opening scene there. You still have so much time against the Eclissi to do something. And yeah, Eclissi, they have Flatixes almost here, so I expect that to be popped probably.
Cleanse already having been dealt with. The bot going back a little bit the other way, and a significant amount of healing gone with the death of Little Bloom. Ned 17 HP will be very, very lucky to stay alive.
Poke.
Cannot get that bleed damage out. As Poke has taken over this fight very, very efficiently. Taking a little bit of damage there from Flatix, but it will be a bit of a stress point as the Clips will have to disengage. Well, I say that they're going to have to disengage. The overclock is out, and I mean, critically very lucky to be alive in that scenario. Could not get away.
The over
and
mistake.
Flatix is going to go down.
Yeah, and this is wonderful here now from Garnet. They read that mistake very, very well. Flanix was way too much over-positioned up in that. Either way, if they were trying to find picks, stuff did not go the way that they wanted to. And Poke just able to apply more pressure up on his side of Eclissi. I really like what they're doing here. This is a better look from them. But can they hold this?
Alright, well, the bot coming around towards that choke and Poke. Ah, man, that is really unfortunate. Pulse bomb out from Config. Not going to find a target there. Needed to find something. Go sound barrier from the other side as well. Fista looking for some shots, and Little Plume has disconnected. A shot dead in the streets of Esperanza.
Yes, somebody assassinated Little Plume there. Very, very unfortunate. Yeah, I'm wondering if somebody pulled the cord. That's what it kind of looked like. But yeah, Fletch, looking at how Garnet has been performing there, we still got only 3 minutes of entry time from both of the teams. We got 7 minutes up on the clock. It's a looking good for Garnet here. They know what they're doing, I believe. I think so. But looking at how they've been playing against the Eclissi, I gotta say this is a better look from what they did up on Hollywood, where Eclissi were up on different roles, playing different things. They're just trying to do their best in everything that they can.
Yeah, I mean, they haven't looked bad. I think the dive has actually been working out pretty well for them. Even into a comp that is pretty effective against the dive. I think that they're doing a very, very good job at trying to focus out Flatix. The Sojourn, we know Flatix is so scary on any hit scan that they pick up, right? We've seen them on 3 hit scan characters through this series. We've seen the Widowmaker, Ashe, Sojourn, right? So trying to take care of Flatix is always going to be a massive, massive priority.
Yeah, same with Fista, right? You know, Fista's been popping off too there, as we just got to see. But yeah, Eclissi, now they are back in charge with that bot. It's almost towards that halfway mark, but Garnet, the config, basically almost 1 HP there. Did you see that?
Not quite. I was looking elsewhere on the screen. We're going to see the dive come through from Poke, and it's also going to pop that Primal Rage Tectonic Shock as well. A nice little bit of ring around the rosy from Kritzkrieg to avoid that Tectonic Shock. Okay, that's the second time that Eclissi has just put Beta Blue into the ground with an ultimate.
Yeah, I think we could definitely see that for sure. But now, you know, you still have hope if you are the Garnet here. Umbreon could have a possible nice blade here coming up against Flatix's Sojourn, which Flatix has been there. It's gonna be a little scary, but with that pick, oh my, wait, hold on.
Great pick. Umbreon pulls the Dragon Blade. Need to find something else here. It does a Nebs. We'll be able to take down Poke, so still a winnable fight for the side of Eclissi. If they can maybe take care of, the Lucio, and it's crazy. They won the fight, but the bot is in the next area code.
Yeah, so the bot's running away from them, as we can see. But Nev's up in an interesting position here. You're able to take space, but look at that. Flatix just getting
Wow!
Oh,
No!
yikes. What was that?
No!
What was that?
No!
Oh, no. Well, that's a highlight reel to
Hippie, you
have for
can't
the
do
CGL.
that! You can't do that, freaking big hippie! No, config. Not only are we not cutting the VOD, we got an instant replay. Okay, Nevs goes down. So winnable scenario here for Garnet. Sound barrier to counter out the overclock. If they can take care of Flatix, who's just receiving so much healing, a sound barrier as well. Kitsune Rush coming in for the assist, answered by a an orbital ray. And as Nevs returns, yeah, I mean, that was winnable, but they just could not get rid of Flatix.
Yeah, so hopefully Garnet doesn't make another mistake. But Config up onto Widowmaker. Maybe it's more damage that they need here, and that's just going to be shut down right away.
I mean, 2 picks already in the hands of Eclissi. It feels like after that last fight, they're finally gaining the momentum that they so desperately wanted. Getting very close to completing this map.
Yeah, Nev's got nothing to work. Is that an emote up on the playfield? Yeah. Oh!
Alright, well, Nev's gonna throw down the rampage onto 2 players there. Gets the healing, stays alive. Vista with a Dragon Blade going to lock it up. That will be the end of the map and the end of the series. Eclissi moves to 3-2 on the season at 0-4 for the side of Garnet.
Yeah, Eclissi was a little funny there with Neo up on the Eclissi there, just emoting there, and then just gets caught and basically plowed into a wall by the Reinhardt. But yeah, a little one-sided, I'd probably say. More one-sided, just over-dominant siding from the Eclissi. I kind of expected this going up into the series, that Eclissi was going to be better overall than Garnet. We got to see how Garnet has been struggling throughout the season by far. You know, either way they go up into this, they are still trying, finding their best opportunities. But, you know, to see a team try that hard against the Eclissi, it's it's difficult to you know, comprehend.
Yeah. An unfortunate match in the end for Garnet. They were so close so many times, but
yeah,
today Eclissi was just the better team, and sometimes that's how it is, right? One thing that I respect out of Garnet is that even though, you know, they haven't quite gotten their first win yet,
they kept going.
there are teams that have dropped out of the league because they can't get a win. Right, I really do appreciate the persistence out of Garnet, because they really, like, from what I saw today, they have moments where they show that they can be, you know, a good team. Right, they have good players, they just haven't quite put it together yet. That's what VODs are for. That's what, you know, playing the game is for. You're trying to get better. You're trying to learn. Garnet is in that scenario right now. Unfortunately, though, Eclissi, like I said, just a better team today.
Yeah.
Dominate 3-0 in this matchup.
Yeah, and as we get to see that scoreline going more up into the favor of Eclissi, I did like what Garnet was doing and trying to show. They were trying to put their foot in front of the Eclissi there in some situations. Some very unfortunate performances from the side of Garnet, but hey, I wouldn't be disappointed about it. You headed up into a very, very tough opponent, and, you know, as you said, you got VODs to review. You can scrim right for that next week to maybe have a chance to get back up in the postseason. But Garnet and Eclissi here taking a look at the bans. Interesting choices, as what we kind of quoted. But I gotta say, for the last map, I think Eclissi was just throwing away that ban and had the idea up in their head that they were going to take the series.
I think all 3 of them were throwaways.
Yeah.
I think all three.
Maybe.
I think all three of these bans were worthless for Eclissi.
Garnet was
you see a
showing,
little
though.
bit of the, huh?
Garnet was showing though with
Sorry?
their bans, I'd probably say, with like
Yeah,
the Ash
you
stuff.
can
Yeah.
see the thought process in the Garnet bans. I don't hate the Wrecking Ball. I like the Ash, and I understand the Sombra. Unfortunately, when you're going up against a team who is as flexible as Eclissi was today, sometimes the bans just don't matter because FlatX was just able to go to Widowmaker or Sojourn, right? So sometimes even if your thought process is right, there's just not much that you can do. But that's going to do it for us here on the EU side.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure we don't quite have an NA side for tonight just yet. So, keep an eye out on the notifications for a potential NA game. Not going to guarantee one. But Nyah, do you have anything else to say before we head out?
Hey, if you're the side of MRG, with their organization, they strive for the best opportunities ever. And I feel like if you're Garnet here, don't, fall short with your hopes here up on finding a win. Definitely keep on fighting strong. And maybe next week could be your answer to have another opportunity up on taking that win.
All right. Thank you all for watching, and we will see y'all in the next one.
I don't know what you want. Let's have a bit of fun till I downfall. My love, if you feel like I do right now, don't say